Sword is one of the most competitive PvP game modes with tens of thousands of people joining the tier list to get themselves tested. With low tier 5 being the worst and high tier 1 being the best, I'm currently a low tier 4, which is considered average. But I want to see how I do against other tiers, so today I'll be 1v1ing all the sword tiers, starting with a low tier 5 and ending with a high tier 1. Now, low tier 5 sword is actually pretty hard to get, so I started off by 1v1ing a high tier 5. So I managed to win that fight without completely trying, but he did almost beat me there. The next tier was low tier 4, which is what tier I am right now. And if I wanted to prove myself, I had to beat all the low tier 4s that I went against. So I managed to beat all 3 low tier 4s that I went against. Next up was high tier 4, which should be better than low tier 4, but actually isn't that hard to play against. Yo, can you 1v1 me for a vid? Montage, well, it's kinda like that. So I managed to beat this high tier 4. I still don't know to this day if they were faking it or not, cause they knew I was making a video, but either way, that's a win in my books. Next up is the low tier 3. I'll be dueling Malorina, but honestly, she shouldn't be too hard to beat, right?
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the...
Okay, so granted, I didn't do too good and I lost 6-0, but Mallory is a pretty good low tier 3, so I look for other low tier 3s hoping to redeem myself. Bro, this kid's running! So, at this point, I'd beaten quite a few low tier 3s, and I was starting to feel confident in myself. And this is when I saw my tester, Vestima, on Stray, and I knew I had to beat them. Now, Vestima could just be any random tester, but once when I tested with them, they demoted me to high tier 5, and I knew that I had to beat them to prove myself. Oh wait, I won! Wait a minute, I was honestly not expecting that. Next up was a high tier 3, which is where things start to get competitive, and if I can beat even any of these, I'll be satisfied. Now, obviously what I'm showing you here isn't the whole picture, but I did manage to win some high tier 3 fights. However, I still lost most of them, and I'm definitely not high tier 3 level yet. After a decent amount of high tier 3 fights, I went on to the low tier 2, Leonold the Lion. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a hold of any low tier 2s. I was originally planning duel Go, but turns out he was hacking and got sent to hacking subhuman, so I guess he's not a valid tier 2 anymore. I really wanted to win this fight, so I had to lock in. Somehow, against all odds, I had managed to beat the low tier 2. Now, after this, there was a high tier 2, but here's where we have a problem. While there's more than 10 low tier 2s in Sword, there's only one high tier 2 as of the moment. And trust me, it does not get better when you move on to the tier 1s. There's only 2 tier 1s, being Marloww and Kyla's. Fortunately, Marloww is near impossible to contact with her DMs being off, contact Marloww being basically useless, and Kyla's just ghosted me when I tried to message her. And on a side note, when I found Adam Sony, the only high tier 2 on West FFA, and asked him for a 1v1, he messaged me the word 7-0. And so, for high tier 2s and up, I have to duel retired players. I wanted to duel Rob in another round to see if I could beat him again, but I think he rage quit or something. So moving on to the low tier 1, I dueled Idexy, who I just simply couldn't beat no matter how hard I tried. You might think that the video's over, but wait, here's a surprise for you. While I was on minemanclub, I actually found Kyla's and dueled her. And surprisingly enough, she accepted. Finally, after months, I'd finally managed to duel the tier 1. And then Metal, being the absolute failure that it is, decides to glitch out on me that the one time I actually need it. And so, I wasn't able to record the fight. I actually managed to catch it and export it on replay mod, but it looks really bad. But here it is, just in case you want to see it. Unfortunately, when I dueled Kyla's, I wasn't warmed up, and I didn't do too well. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed in myself, because I did decently bad. And I didn't get another chance to duel her after that because she logged off. Well, if you've watched this far, be sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching the video. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it.